Hi all and welcome back. So wait for a lot of subscriber got over and today we'll be looking on a one topic which people were asking me to a greater extent means the topic is how we can create a custom widget for the service portal. Okay, so we'll be looking on to a simple example and I will try to create few more sessions on the same topic that how to create a widget and how we can incorporate that particular widget on a service portal form. Okay, so before beginning, we have to understand few things out. So first of all, what is service portal? Okay, so let's look for the service now service portal. Okay, so let's see the definition. What's service portal? So in the definition, it gives service portal allow you to build a mobile-friendly self-service experience for your user. It interacts with the part of Now platform, so user can access specific. So basically, is the interface which will be exposed to the end user, okay, and they can do all the things from here. So if you don't know, if you are new to the service now, and if you don't know how to navigate to service portal, so it's pretty simple. You have to take the base URL, okay, and you can paste it over here, and you can do /sp. So it will open the service portal. So this will be it's opening, okay. Wait. So let's wait. My service portal is getting loaded. Perfect. So this is what we call a service portal, and each entity on this particular this particular page is called as widget. So you can consider request something is a widget, knowledge base is also widget, get help is also widget. You can say these are the common widget, okay, these are the same widget with different configuration. How I define it, because it looks same, right? So in that terms, this is my open incident, this is a list widget, you can say this is approval widget, there is announcement widget, all those things, okay. So you can basically say ki service portal is a portal which is exposed to end user. End user can use this beautiful portal and do all kind of request items, announcement. They can check for approvals and anything. It depends on your client requirement, on your requirements. Okay. Now we understood the service portal. Now we have seen that service portal is made up of widgets only. Okay. Now what exactly ServiceNow widget means? So if we go to the ServiceNow docs, what are widgets? Okay, so widgets are reusable component. Okay, we can reuse it out. That's why I've shown you key. This is how it looks. Okay, reusable component which make up a functionality of a portal page. Perfect. Widget defines what a portal does and what information a user sees. As I told that it's a end user facing interface. So it's for the end user only. ServiceNow provides a large number of baseline widgets. So you have the out-of-the-box widgets also which you can use to perform certain action, but we'll be creating our own widget, custom widget. Okay, let's do something which will grow our knowledge, right? Okay. The example includes what kind of widgets we can have. So we can have approval widget, we have seen right now. We can have knowledge base widget, we can have my request, carousel, catalog content, popular questions, search, incident, anything. Okay, you can create anything out of widget. Okay, so now this is clear. We have seen till now what is service portal, how we can navigate to service portal, what are widgets. Okay, in a theoretical terms, I don't want to go into theory that much. Okay, I have shown you how it looks on the page also. Now this is service portal. Okay, and these are the example of widgets. Okay, I have shown you. Now let's create a custom widget. Okay, so how to create a custom widget? So for that, let's come to our favorite ServiceNow instance. Okay, ServiceNow instance. I will close this tab out because we don't need it. Okay, and what you have to do, go for service portal and portal configuration, and you can see under service portal application there is service portal configuration. Okay, you can navigate to service portal from here also. Okay, I missed that. So service portal configuration, if you click on this, okay, a new interface will open. Okay, and from this particular interface I can show you what all things you can create. Okay, So from it's like service portal, create rich, engaging and modern experience to help business run better. Okay, select one of the option below to continue. So from here we can create a brand editor, we can create a designer, we can create a page editor. Means these are the modules. Okay, then we have widget editor. Okay, then we have new portal and get help. Okay, so we'll be focusing on widget only today. Okay, so what here is create widget from scratch or customize an existing one, write HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So I will show you. Okay, so I will click on this. Okay, and let's think on the use case. Okay, while it's getting loaded. So what we will do, we will try to load the data from sys user table, user data. We'll try to get some frames from the user table and we'll pass on to the widget. Okay, we will create a page and we will show it on the service portal. Okay, pretty amazing. Okay, if you have some Angular knowledge, it will add some value. It will be pretty easy. If you don't have, then also it's fine. So here you can see edit an existing widget. So you can edit the widgets which are already there. Okay, you can also create a widget, create a new widget, and I don't want to go with the simple option to edit an existing widget. Let's create it from the scratch. So I will click on create a new widget. It asks for widget name. Okay, so let's give a widget name demo. Okay, let's give it a name, and this ID will get auto generated. Okay, sorry, it went demo, and it asks use only lowercases, letter, number, underscore, and a hyphen. Okay, for this ID, and it asks for create test page. So I will recommend whenever it depends on your wish. Okay, it's whether you want to create test page or not, but I will recommend you should go with the test page. Okay, so what the test page does, it creates a test page, because basically at the end you will be adding this widget to a page, and that page will be added to a portal. Okay, this is the hierarchy. So what you can do, you can create a test page and you can see how it's getting rendered. Your widget is getting rendered on a test page. If you think everything is working fine, then you can remove that particular page and you can put it onto some page, and you can add that particular page to a service portal. So let's create a test page. Okay, and let's give it a name for now as a demo only. Okay, demo only. So I will submit it out. Okay, so this is the interface which you will see. Okay, when you create a widget. Okay, so now you can see we by default it gets HTML template, client script, server set script. So it's like server set script, the server code and the database information will get pulled to client script, and from client script to HTML. Okay, this is how it works. Okay, you can have a checkbox over here, so that if you check on the checkbox, a new section will get add or remove from here. You can remove this. So this is how it works. Okay, you have a widget called demo widget, and here you have an option to see public widget enable preview. If you click on this enable preview, right, so what it will do, okay, it should enable a preview, but there is no preview right now. Okay, so I have enabled the preview, and if you click on this I button, so it will load the preview over here. Okay, so right now it's empty because we don't have anything on it. Okay, so, and if you want to go for this, so how you can route. So here you can see the entire, if you click on open in platform, so it will open that particular page in a new tab. Okay, which we want. Oh sorry, this is a configuration got removed. So if you want to open it up, I just forgot it. Says I think SP question mark. Where is the question mark? Question mark ID equal to demo. Okay, I think and this is how you can render the page. I think it's getting rendered. Yes, and you can see right now the page is empty. So here you can see that so I have shown you how you can preview the page. Here also it's fine. Okay, it will get, so for example, let's start with the demo. So let's start with something simple, and then we will complex the things out. Okay, so first of all, let's make an introduction. Okay, so let's add something like hello and hello. Hello TechnoMonk. Okay, if I go hello TechnoMonk, and if I save it out, okay, let's give an exclamation mark also, because oh, I have a new laptop today, okay, and I'm really facing an issues to find the keys. So if I save it out, it will render it on the preview page. Okay. So as soon as I save it, okay, it should see. You can see over here, it shows in the preview hello TechnoMonk, right? This is how. Let's not do it on this particular page because it will suppress other tabs. Okay, let's refresh every time over here. So I have added just hello world over here. Okay, and okay, you got hello TechnoMonk. Okay, so we have successfully added something on the widget. Okay, right now let's replace this out with the user ID. Okay, because I'm not using as a TechnoMonk, I'm using as a service system administrator right now, right? So how to do that? Okay, so for that you have to retrieve the data of the you have to retrieve the data name, date session user display name, okay, from the server side, and put it over here. So how to do that? First of all, you have to pull it over here. So how you can do that? You must be knowing this gs dot, and we will be using the user API. So it will be like gs dot get user. Am I typing it right? Display name. It's like NAME. Okay. Get display name. So this is how we pull the username. Okay. We're using the user API. Okay. Now we don't want it on the server side, right? We want to pull that particular data to a HTML template and replace this TechnoMonk. Okay. So how we can do that? So you can write over here. Okay. Populate the data object. Okay. Example data.table equal to $sp get value, whatever it is. Okay. So there is a data object, and through data object we can pass the data. So let's do that. Let's try it out. So we will do data dot username name equal to, okay, user dot data num, and I have assigned that display name to this data object. Now how to pull this out on the HTML page? So there is a simple way to do that. So what you have to do, you have to replace this thing out, okay, over here, and you have to add a curly braces, double curly braces, double curly braces. Okay, so you have to add two. I will zoom out somewhat, okay, so that it will be visible to you. Okay. So double curly braces. In that, how you can add? See, I will show you. Here it's a data. Okay, data. That data is getting passed to a client script first. So in client script it will be c.data. Okay. And here it will be like c.data.username if you want to pull over here. So we will give that way only. So first of all we will move to the client script object. So we will give c dot. Now we will be moving to this particular variable data object. So we will be like every time we will be going like c.data, and now we will access the variable which we have defined over here, which is username, right? So we will dot walk So you can see in the JSON formatter. Okay, so username, and now we should be able to pull this data to the HTML template. Okay, let's save it out. Okay, let's see if it works. So I've saved it out. Let's reload the page. So now let's see what it's showing. So it's now hello system administrator. Perfect. Okay. So till now though everything is going fine. Okay. People are, I don't know why people are so um worried about service portal, okay, and widgets. Okay. I don't understand. Now let's do something amazing. Okay. Now let's pull the user data. Okay, so what we'll do, we will pull the data from sysuser table. So sysuser, for the people who are new to ServiceNow, sysuser is the table where the user records are stored. Okay, so let's pull user ID, name, and email ID. Okay, and I don't want to pull all the 620 records. On which criteria I should do this? Let's say company. If I pull the company out, okay, and if I want the users with the company Acme South America, I'm doing just a show matching. Oh, it's also a lot. Okay, let's try some other company which have some less data. UK Acme UK 87. Okay, I don't know. Uh, let's try one more time, or else we will use any company which we get. Okay, let's take Germany. For Germany, let's see how many records are there. 86. Oh, let's take this. Okay, let's take this example. So now we want to show the data of this data to a portal. Okay, now how we can do that? So what you have to do, you know the server-side scripting, right? Right now we don't need this client-side scripting, so we will disable it out. And server-side scripting. Now what you can do, you can simply define a glide record, right? We know this thing. So how to do this? A variable gi user equal to new glide record. Okay, new glide record, and we can pass this user over here. Okay, and then we can define a query. So user dot add, we'll give encoded query only. Let's give the encoded query. So I will get that query from here. Copy query. Okay, and let's keep it as like this. Okay, so this is the editing. Okay, let's keep editor window over here. So I will put the encoded query over here. Okay, and then we can do gi user dot order by. Let's do order by user ID. So what is the name of the field? Let's open one of the record. It's really difficult to think for a tutorial, right? While I don't plan anything usually, so which creates a problem for me. So let's get username. So let's do order by username over here. Okay, and what else? Let's do it like this only, and let's do gi user dot query. Okay, now we have queried the user table and we found the user with the company name. What was that? Acme something. Okay, Acme or whatever. Now we can simply iterate through this. Okay, iterate through this, and we can get the data. Okay, but now how we'll pass this data to the HTML template? That must be the question in your mind also, right? I know. So in the similar way, if we can pass the username, we can pass anything, right? So what you can do, you can create a variable. So we can, let's create a data dot, let's create a JSON object. Okay, we'll create a JSON object. So we'll give it a name as name equal to, and we will define object. Okay, an empty object, and in that empty object, let's define a list. Okay, so we have a list attribute. Okay, so we'll define array inside that. So let's give it a name as list itself, list, and let's give it an empty array. Okay, so what we have done, we have created an object, like we have created string input, we have created an object input. Okay, name it as table, and so that our JSON object we have given an array, empty array. Now what we'll do, we'll iterate through this and we'll push all the records, all the required information to that particular list. Okay, so I want to make it as an array of object. Okay, so we'll create an object and push that object to this array. Okay, hope you are getting it out. So how we can do that, we will simply define first, as I told you, we'll create an empty object first. So we'll do variable object equal to, so this is how we create an empty object. Now we want to make it as an array of object, right? So let's push the required information into this object. So let's do object dot, what only we want to post. User ID, will be passing user ID, that will be gi user dot get value of user ID in the similar way, and always use a get value. Okay, if you are using dot, means if you are using like this, like for example, if you are using user, most people will do this only, something like user ID. So remember one thing, whenever you do this dot walk, okay, to an entity, so it will return an object. Okay, and if you are passing the object as a string to the HTML, it will screw your system out. So don't do this. Okay, let's not do this. So let's do the get value. Okay, what else we want to, so we will passing, let's copy this out, username, let's get name and email ID. So I will change name and email. Okay, and let's get the value. So what is the backend value for all this? So for user ID, we know it's username. So let's pass username for the first. Now for the second one, what we want, name, right? So for name, what is the first name? Let's take the first name only. So first name has a name called our system is slow. So it will be first name, and what is the last? Email ID, right? So where is the third one? Email ID. Okay, so we are taking these three attributes for time being. Okay, you can take n number of, okay, based on your requirement. So we will go here. So what we are doing, we have created an empty object, and we are setting these values, three values for each and every user which are coming through it in an empty object, and we will be pushing that object to a list. So how to push that? It's pretty simple. How to push the object in anything to a array, right? In the similar way, it will be like data dot table dot list. Okay, and there we will do dot push. What you want to push? You want to push the entire object. So now we think we have successfully pushed the entire object to a database. Okay, let's yeah, I think so, it should work. Okay, and let's save it out. Okay, it should not give some error. So every time I save, it will render this server-side script. Let's first check if this value is coming right or not before we push it to the HTML template. Okay, so how to do that? We can simply do info message as always. So what we will do, we will do gs.info. Okay, and let's give this data.list data.list this. Okay, let's see what's coming inside this. Okay, so I will give it let's make it pretty visible. Control X. If you are not able to see, let me give some spaces. So we are doing this. What's coming inside this we want to see. So I will do plus. Okay, I will again save it out, and it should render the data to an info message. Okay, so let's wait for the save. Oh, why it's taking a lot of time. Okay, it got saved. Let's go to the ServiceNow instead. Let's go to logs, and under logs, where are the logs? Logs. Why I am unable to? Okay, system logs. If I go to all, so, and what we have given over here, data.list. Okay, what's not showing anything? Let's see, it's like gs.info. Yeah, it seems to be fine. Let's save once again, or let's refresh the page once. Okay, now it should give some data. Okay, oh my god, now as you can see, we are getting the data. Okay, but we are getting object, and that's what we expect also, because we can see it's an array of object. Okay, it's an array of object. Let's see if we can put, I don't want to get this kind of data, it will be like a mess to understand. Let's do gr user dot set limit to 5 records. Okay, why it's giving error? Okay, if I save this out, and if I, because it will be like I don't want to show you the 86 theta records, right? So that's why. So I refresh it out, it should render the server-side script once again. Let's go over here, refresh the list, and now it should give only 5 records. It should. Okay, perfect. Now as you can see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's not pretty visible, right? Okay, so let's make it visible so that we will come to know we are getting a proper data. So how to do that? So for this we will be using JSON.stringify. Okay, to convert this object into a string, JSON object into a string. So how you can do that? You can simply do JSON dot stringify. Okay, and then you can push it like this. Okay, and let's beautify it out. So you can pass 2 more attributes, null slash 4, so comma 4, so it will make it pretty. Okay, it will be pretty easy to evaluate through it. Okay, let's save it out, And if I go to our demo page, let's reload again. It will render the information. Let's do sort by created. And now you can see we are getting data. So we are getting data like this. And this is what we needed, right? User ID, name, email ID, user ID, name, email ID. Yeah, this is what the data we are looking for. So our data is fine. Now let's push this data into the HTML template because we want to, our portal is empty, right? We want things over here, not here. Okay. So how to do that? Okay. So you can simply do it by, let's add one PR first of all, so that it will separate our stuff out. Okay. And then you can define a tag. So it will be like table. Let's define a table. Okay, table, and inside table, let's define a tr. So let's tr. Okay, and in tr we will give a tag of ng repeat. So ng is a next generation. If you are somewhat familiar to AngularJS, so you can do ng.repeat because we want to iterate through each and every record of this list, right? So we can go ng repeat, and what we need to repeat. So you know how to get this data. So you can simply give it as row in what? So you have to iterate through each and every row, right? You have to create a new row for. So it's like row in c dot data dot, you know, right? From c dot data, I already explained, right? Data dot table dot list. Perfect. So it will be like if I come over here. So from, it's like the current session we are referring to C is this dot. From here we are going to this data object. From data we are going to table. From table we are going to list, and we are iterating this list out. So let's see. Okay, and we have already closed the TR. Okay, so let's define some TDs so that we can iterate through. We can create a separate columns for all of them. So in TR we'll give TD, okay, TD, and in TD let's give, we need two TDs, right? Three, I guess, three. So first, second, third. Okay, let's not do this way. Okay, let's copy after TD. So the first TD, how to fetch the data from here? So we are getting a row, right? So it will be like we have to again do double curly braces. Okay, and in that you can type row because we now have a row, right? Row dot, what is the first column? User ID, right? So row dot, you can take it from here, row dot user ID. This is the first TD we got. In the similar way we can have a TD for, means we can have a separate column for name and email ID. So let's replace it with name and email ID. So if you don't like the formatting, right, you can do simply Control A, Shift Tab, and it will do the formatting for you. Okay, so now it looks pretty convincing to me. Okay, so let's save it out and let's see if something we have rendered successfully on the page or not till now. Okay, so let's go to our page, reload it out. Please, finger crossed. And now we can see the data. Okay, don't worry about the formatting for now. Okay, so we are getting this data as we will look into the CSS, but I will look into the CSS at the last. Okay, so right now what we are getting ID, we are getting name, and we are getting the email ID for that particular user, for 5 users which we got. Perfect, right? Now, why the BR didn't work, I don't know. Okay, let's see. Let's remove this for timing. Okay. Now we got the data on the portal. Okay. Now if at any point of time you want to see what exact data is getting fetched to an portal, okay, I can show you, I can give you one tag, okay, which you can write, okay, and what it will do, it will show you what exactly data. So I generally do it for debugging purpose, so that I will always have an idea what exact the data is coming on the page, and then you can remove it out at the later stage. So how to get the data? So over here, what you can do below the table tag, because we don't want to include it in table, you can define a pre-tag. Okay. In pre-tag, you can define again the same curly braces, 2 times curly braces. You just remember this formula, okay, curly braces, and you can do c dot data dot table, because you don't want to see the list only, you want to see the entire JSON, what exactly we are retrieving from the server side, okay, and you can give like JSON, okay, because it's a JSON format, right? So what it will do, let's see. I have saved it out, it's getting saved, it got saved. Now if I refresh it out, so now you can see this, okay. So I usually put it in front of my eyes, so that I will see whether I'm getting the data properly or not, and I can evaluate on the UI itself, okay. But it's up to your wish how you want to deal with it, okay. For time being I will keep, and then I will remove it out, okay. So now we got it, okay. Now for example, we want to give a button, okay, which will perform certain action, okay, in front of every record. So how we can give the button, okay. So you can give that also pretty easily, okay. Let's try it out. So after email, I will give one more TD, okay. And in that TD, now this particular TD will contain a button, okay. So let's define button. Let's define a button. So I will give you should know somewhat basic of HTML, JavaScript and CSS, okay, to work on this, but just basic, okay, nothing complicated. So I will do button, okay, it has entered the button tag. I'll give the button name as what name I should give, okay. I will give get user get name, let's for example I give, okay, and then we will define some click actions, okay, on this button, because we don't want keep button will simply it's like dummy button. So let's give it a name. So we'll give it name, and I will give name as get name button, okay, get name button, and we'll give ng what should happen on click of this button, okay. So we'll get ng.click, and it should call a function. Where we'll define that function, we'll see at a later case. So we'll give show name, for example. So this is a button, this is a function which should get called on the click of this button, okay. So let's first save this out and see if we are getting that button or not, okay. So let's save. I have saved it out. Let's go to the portal, on a weird portal which I created. Please God, show me the button. So I've saved it out, I've loaded the screen, and it's taking a lot of time. I don't know why. I can see this bouncing circle. Yeah. And now we got a button, get name, but it's not doing anything for now. Okay. If I click on this, yeah, nothing is happening. Okay. But let's make it proper. It's pretty weird. Okay, let's make it somewhat good. Okay. So let's give a inline CSS, okay, inline class for this button. So let's give it a bootstrap class. So the class name is success. So let's give class equal to you must be knowing, if you know the HTML, you know what the class means, button. So class is like it's a bootstrap class which has some look and feel which is already defined. You can simply call that class and it will give that look and feel to that particular entity. So again, a button class success, so it should show green color success because it's a green color for success people has defined. So if I save it out, it's kind of fun sometime doing this. Okay, if you have time you can play around it. Okay, I'm just trying to build some things out. So now if I reload it out, okay, oh, now it started looking somewhat better. Okay, but not good. You can't show this to your client. Okay, he will kill you. Now we have defined a button, right? And but this button doesn't do anything. Okay, if I do console.log also, okay, I do inspect. Okay, it's opening into a different window. Let's get it in this same window. Okay, it will not be visible like this. Let's move it to the right side. Okay, and now if I do the console, if I remove this out and if I click on these buttons, okay, it's not doing anything. It's not showing any console. So let's give some action to this. Okay, so what we have to do now, we have to define this function, show name. But where we will show this, where we will define this, right? That must be the question going on in your mind also. So for that you have to define it in the client script. So for that we'll pull the client script one. Okay, and how you can do that? So you have this function. Okay, and keep always in mind, okay, whenever you define anything you have to pass that particular thing from in this function attributes. So as we are doing, we'll be doing dollar scope. I'm trying to ease things out for you. Okay, probably it will scope dot what is the name of the function? It's like show name, right? So let's take the same show name. Okay, and equal to, it will be a function, right? Because and function we can define. How to define function I will not explain. Okay, so here we can define the function. Okay, and what exactly it will do, what exactly you want to make it do. Okay, so let's make a console log only because we have already opened the console, right? So let's make a console log. So what we will do, we'll put it like console dot log. Okay, and we'll be like the name is, okay, what I'm trying to do, whenever we click on this name, if we click on this name, so the name belonging to that particular record will get updated on the console log. Okay, this is what I want to do. So I will do console.name and how to get this particular attribute over here. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to pass an attribute. So it will be name over here. how to pass it from here, because we have to pass it from here, right? So it will be like row. For that particular row, we want name attribute, right? Is that name? I will close the server side for time being. Okay, name. So I will build row.name. So we'll be passing this particular attribute, name attribute for that particular row to the client script via this attribute. Okay, and we will do only simply, we'll be showing that name. So if I do plus name, so what it should do, on a click of the button, it's calling this function show name, in which we are passing the name of the record, name of the user of that particular record, and we are showing it on the console. Okay, pretty easy. Okay, but I missed one thing. Okay, whenever you define, as I told in the start, whenever you define anything, you have to pass it as an attribute to the function. So we have defined scope, right? So you can pass it like $scope to your client script. Now you can save it out. Okay, and let's see now what happens. So I saved it out. I again move my recording. Okay, saved it out. I again move to demo page, and now if I reload it out, okay, reload is mandatory whenever you work on a client side thing. Okay, oh, we are getting a lot of things over here. Okay, so I will remove this thing for time being. Let's remove this because it's creating a lot of mess over here, because we know now what the data is. Okay, so let's remove. How to remove it, how to comment is like, let's remove it only. I don't need now. Sorry, why this got open? I will remove this thing out. Come on, I am not able to remove you. Okay, I will save. And because it was taking a lot of space over there. Okay, let's reload once again. Okay, now it's somewhat clear. So here, if I don't want to occupy this much of space in this. Okay, I will remove the console logs. Let's make it quite big. Control plus. Okay, it's only updated. So now if I click on this button, let's see what it does. So as soon as I click on this button, it's giving the name at the console now. No mistake till now in this demo. Great. If I click on another button, another button, another button, another button, we are getting all the names out over here. Okay, let me make it on a different window, because people, my subscribers are looking onto the what we call the user screens only. Okay, we can make it like this. Let's make 100%. Okay, or let's remove this only, right? Oh, this is what I'm doing. Let's copy this out. I just forgot how we can get out of this. Let's do. What is this today? Professor someone. Okay, I will close this out. We already have console open. No, we don't. Okay, let's inspect, and we got a new window. Okay, which I don't want. Let's. How can I forget this? Let's pull it over here only. Okay, so I can put it over here. Okay, so let's go to the console again. As we have seen, as soon as we click on this button, the names are getting updated over here. Perfect. So our buttons are doing something. Okay, not what we want, but it's doing something. Okay. Oh, now this will be good. Okay. That's what I was trying. 125 will also work. So now a button are doing something out. Okay. Now what we can do? Okay. Now we have what we did till now. We have first of all we have passed the data from server to client, from client to HTML. Now we are reversing it out. From HTML we pass the data to client. Let's pass this data now. Now we got the data into client script, right? Now let's pass the data to server also. Okay, server also. Let's why we should leave server. So how we can do that? Now let's disable the HTML because now we have data over here. Now we will be passing this data from here to server side. So how you can do that? So you can do that by doing, first of all, you define one variable. Okay. And that variable will be, right, you can define data.answer. So over here below this you can define one more attribute, data dot what I'm trying to do is like we want to show, we want to pass this information to server side. Okay, so we will define, but I don't want to iterate that data always. I just want whenever that button is clicked. Okay, so it's an on change event. So what we'll do, we'll define one attribute. Okay, let's give the answer name of that attribute like letter or answer. Okay, and let's make it empty. Okay. Let's make it empty for time being. Okay, now when the data is empty, data.answer is empty, we will not run that particular code. Okay, we'll not run that code. Yeah, that this will work. Now what we want to do, we want to pass the data from here to here. Okay, so from here you can manipulate that data. Right now it's empty. Okay, you can manipulate that data by doing c dot data dot answer equal to what we have name. Okay, so in the initial stage it will be empty, so we will define a function which will check if input is empty. Okay, kind of. So now we are passing the, initially it's empty, now we are setting it from the client script, and what we can define that if input, because it's an input to the server side script, right? Input is if we have something in the input right now, it's empty, but if we have something in input, we'll do console dot log and we will be like the name from server is, and we can give plus input dot answer. Okay, so what we did over here, that we checked if there is any input from the client script. If there is an input, so we are simply, because we know what input we are giving, right? We are giving name. So the name from the server is input.server. Okay. So this is, yeah, this should work. Let's see. Okay. So let's see, because no other things are running in my mind. Okay, right now. So let's try this out. So what I will do, I will refresh the page now again. And So if you can see, it's getting loaded. Okay, and it's making my life miserable. Come on, my internet is quite slow today. That's why sometimes my tutorials become lengthy. Okay, but people are fine with that. Thanks for all your support. You are not. Okay, so now we got something. Okay, I don't know whether it's an error or not. Okay, so we'll clear this log out. So as you have seen it in that logs, the server side message didn't appear because right now the input is empty, and when the input is empty we are not doing anything out. But if I click the name now, so it gave this, but it gave the other one. Why it didn't give the other one? Let's check. So I passed the name over here, and we are doing input dot answer. That's that if we have any input, which we have, so we are doing console.log. The name of server is. I'm passing the data right. Yeah, this seems to. Okay, so everything seems to be fine. Oh, I missed a very important thing. So we want to do this server update, right? So you can do c dot server, because it will, when you do the update, server update, so what it will do, it will re-execute the script, okay, over here. And what we have done, we have put a condition: if input, then only show this particular log. So let's save this out. Okay, let's check this, and let's go to the demo page. Come on, why you are taking so much of time? And I can, okay, mess from my side. Let's save this. Let's have this also console. So now it got saved. Okay, now if we go and reload the page, okay, and let's see, let me show you how it works now. Okay, I will remove this log, and if I click on the get name now, okay, so you can see we are started getting the response from the server also. Okay, it's taking some time, that's why it's, so if I remove this now, and if I click on this, so the first is the client side. From the client side we got, okay, the name is this, and then you are getting name from the server is Antion. Okay, so this is how you have passed the data from client side to server side also. Okay, now once you get the data, you can do whatever you want to do, right? So let's try to do something. Okay, if you wish, let's do something. So what you can do, we can have this glide record again. Okay, glide record again, and I'm just trying something crazy, and we can do gr user dot dot query. Okay, query, and as we have name, so we can have, what is the name, what name stands for first name we are passing, right? So first name, okay, equal to, what is the input parameter, input dot answer. Okay, and then we can do gr user dot query. Okay, and then while, you can go with if also, but I'm not sure whether there are different multiple users with the same name. Okay, so I'm doing while gr user dot name. What I want to do, I want to update something. What I can do, what can I can screw on the system. So what I can do, I can update the last name also with the first name. Okay, so show last name. Let's do the last name, and it will be like Jia user dot set value last name also to first name. Okay, this input dot answer. Sounds amazing, right? Okay, just for demo purpose I'm doing all this mess. Okay, so that you will have end-to-end flow. Okay, you will see all how the end-to-end flow goes. So that is all I've done. Okay, it's Jia user. So update. Okay, now we will save it out and let's see if our end-to-end flow runs. Okay, so we will try for Alejandro. Okay, let's run. Do we have Alejandro? Yeah, this is the first record. Okay, so now you can see over here the name is what is Mascal. Okay, now what we'll do, we will click on this name. Okay, first of all we click on this name, and what it does, client side got retrieved, server side got it retrieved, and did it updated the name? Didn't. Okay, name from the server. Did I miss anything else over there? While, oh, it's while next, so it's not name. That's why I should start giving a live session so you can guide me out. Okay, on this kind of stuff. So let's try once again. Oh my god, we have to again reload the page out. I hate this thing about the. And now if we click again, I just remove the logs, clicked, we got from client side, now we got from server side, and now the name got updated. So now we have end-to-end working flow on the widgets. Okay, now as now we have completed end-to-end flow. Okay, now let's do some actually it's really looking weird. Okay, so let's make it proper, somewhat proper. Okay, so what you can do to make it proper, first of all, let's give a table class. So we will again bring the HTML. We don't want this server side now. So on HTML1, let's give table a class. Okay, the way we give button, right? So we'll give class equal to class equal to, what is the class name we can give? It's like table dash tripd stripped. Okay, I remember only this class right now, tripd. So we'll save, and it should show some difference on the form. Okay, I don't know on console also, so I will remove it out. Okay, and now if I zoom out, okay, I don't know if it will be visible. So now if I zoom out, you can see, I don't know whether you will be able to see, there is some grades. Okay, some shadings which are happening. So this, it's like a strip like of structure. It got image like dark light, dark light. I'm not sure whether you will be able to see it or not. Okay, but it's there. Let's see if I can add some more attributes. So now table dash HTML table dash strip class change color. Okay, if I can get some example, let's do it in the live session. Okay, please forgive me because I'm like this only. Okay, so if I open this and let's open this also. Okay, it seems to be useful. So how you can do is like table.strip complicated. Table.background. I don't want to change the background for the same. Okay. Let's try to find something. Okay, let it be. Okay, but trust me. Okay, those are there. Okay, and it's pretty visible for me, but I'm not sure it's visible for you or not. Let's do some more stuff over there. This. Okay. Let's add some CSS because then people will be like, oh, you have not shown us the CSS. So how to add CSS? You can enable the CSS stuff over here. Okay, I always do CSS at the last. Okay, because I want to enter all the data first and then you can do all kind of CSS and stuff. Right. So let's do TD. Where I typing. So it's TD because I want to give to this TDs. Okay, and you can give padding equal to 10 pixel I will give. Okay, and I will save. Let's see if you can see it properly after that. And it's getting saved. It's taking a lot of time. It got saved. Now if I refresh it out, please make it look better somewhat. And now, oh, now you can see the strips, right? Okay, so now it's looking pretty good. Okay, what else you can do? What? Oh, we are missing the heading itself, right? So let's give headings also for this particular table. So how to give headings in the table? You can give th. Okay, so I will define th. It's th stand for table heading, so it's th. And I can give. There are three options, right? The first what we call is user ID. Then in the similar way we have name, email ID and button. Okay, let's give this similar name. So I will give it as name, email, it should be email ID. Okay, and then at last it should be button. Okay, let's do Control A, Shift Tab. Okay, it formatted the things out for us. Let's save. And let's see if because it's like I don't know, orphanage kind of records. What exactly it is. So if I refresh, now it shows user ID, name, email ID, button. So now in this particular tutorial, what we have done, we have rendered the data from server side, we have moved it to client, from client we have moved to HTML and shown it on the portal on the widget. Then we have pushed the data from widget to client side, client script, and to server side and update the record based on the actions. Okay, so you can use your own imagination and you can define anything, and there is a huge scope. Okay, I just made it pretty simple so that it will be not too much complex for the beginners. Okay, I will try to create some consecutive tutorials on the same, okay, so that you will learn a lot of things around this. Hope you got a basic idea on service portal widget. Okay, and now you can add this widget on any of your portal. Okay, please like, follow, subscribe, and please drop comments, because based on your comments only I am creating all kind of tutorials. Okay, so please drop comments. Okay, and stay safe, stay happy, have a nice day.